Again, if I lived in a state where same-sex marriage was not allowed, I would protest all day and night to get that kind of stuff changed, because he deserves a man who will love him for the pianist that he is. I gotta go to the bathroom, Kibbelz, and I was keeping you company because between games it's the toughest, to keep talking, and it's really good to have a co-caster. But you're a pro at intros and early game analysis, well, late game analysis too. So take it away, bud. I'll be right back.
Let's do it, guys, in the top right-hand corner. We have the Purple Protoss. uGpV. uGpV. That's going to be tough, man. His opponent going to be spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of this map, ESV Cloud Kingdom. Saw him last series go up against RSVP, quite a competent Protoss. Will he be able to take down uGpV? Captain of Startail, he is Rainbow. Guys, welcome to Cloud Kingdom. If you haven't been here before, take a little tour around this map. Down here, we're in the bottom left. We have the natural expansion. Note how everything is kind of protected by this nice little choke here. Then you've got this larger ramp with some destructible debris. Work your way over to the natural third, which also has its own ramp. Natural, pretty darn easy to take on this map. Third is substantially more difficult. And if you don't have control of the middle of the map or good knowledge of where your opponent's army is positioned, it's really easy to get your units caught out of position if you're over here towards the third, being like, I think he's going to come into my third, and then he rolls into your natural. You're like, oh man, I actually have to run all the way back over there. So expect both players here, in all honesty, probably to make it to do base play. And we'll see where things go from there. Right now, Rainbow opening with a refinery, pulling off gas, likely wants to get down that expansion a little bit quicker, and I think he wants just 4 more gas. What do you think?
Sorry,
Katu?
Kibbelz. I know you wanted me to jump in there, but I was actually taking a nice soothing gulp of water.
Warm water? Cold water, man.
It's actually room temperature.
Room temperature water is so great.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like running a marathon, man. I don't need to cool my body. I want to soothe my throat.
Straight up, dude. And you actually absorb the water a lot better throughout your digestive system if you drink it nice and room temperatured. So, yeah. I like to pour it out in advance, and then it just kind of sits there for a few hours. Multiple glasses at a time. I don't know, they just end up sitting there. I actually don't have that much of a huge preference, which is obviously why I guess I don't keep any kind of filter in the fridge. With that being said, 2 extra barracks go down here for Startail Rainbow after going for that quick command center. And looks like also adding on a tech lab, going into some fairly early Marauder. Slightly different build than we saw in the last games here versus RSVP. And meanwhile, what's this in the top right of uGpV's base, man? Sneaky guy.
Can't zoom in on it because it's all the way in the corner, but the Stargate. What's he going to be starting here momentarily? It is a Phoenix. Going to be going for some harass.
Didn't we see this build already today?
We did, man, and I was so flustered by it. Been working its way into some competitive play, I guess, man. Phoenix harass
Phoenix
versus
are
Terran.
good.
They are good.
Like, PvZ, I don't even know why people make Void Rays. Like, people are like, oh, I'm going to deny his third base. Who cares about denying the third base, man? Win the game with Phoenixes. They're so good. They're so fast that, like, Spore Crawlers can't do anything. You try to get out Hydralisks, but Hydralisks get 4-shotted by Phoenixes. Like, it's actually pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, man.
uGpV right now getting his Warp Kit technology finished. is he going to go for this Nexus in the near future? We will have to see. 2-gate Stargate, certainly not an all-in. He'll either add on some additional gateways here or expand. Probably wants to see with these Phoenix what his opponent Rainbow is up to right now. And momentarily he's going to see this expansion. He should know right about now. Oh, Rainbow's expanding.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing those 3 barracks and the double gases is pretty much a straight tell to that. Meanwhile, the Marines will intercept, and ooh, there's more Marines over there at the front of the base as well. Nice little juke and jive there by our player, our Protoss player. What's his name again? It's not uGpV, it's Nortak.
That's a lot easier to say, man.
It is a lot easier to say. uGpV, you know, sometimes you go for the acronyms because they're easier, but uGpV is not one of them. It is not an easy acronym at all. It's not like YMCA, man. It's the best acronym. It's even a song. So these Phoenixes here sneaking in, trying to do a little bit more damage, sniping an SCV here, sniping an SCV there. Overall, though, not too much damage done by the Phoenixes. And now we see a Nexus going down for Nortak as well. The factory on the way for Startail Rainbow. He has stim complete. And that's actually a pretty fast stim here.
Really quick stim.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to follow this up with?
Well, we know that the quick stim was a very precise part of his build. As he mined that 100 gas actually for stim before he built his command center. So maybe intends to go for some drop play here. We're at the 920 mark. With, I believe we saw 1 rack expanded out of him. You can have drops with stim much quicker. I don't know. Everybody's been going for these like super late drops as of late.
Yeah, I guess it's 2 different styles of play, right? Where either you can get the tons of Marines and Marauders out with upgrades a little bit quicker instead of going for that medevac play. And the 2 differences are, one, you can just like straight up robustly defend, whereas when you're going for the medevac play, you have to have some crazy good control. And the only reason your opponent isn't killing you is because you're dropping. Right? You're dropping on their natural over at their main and forcing them to stay home, forcing them to stay defensive.
Precisely the reason it works. Now here definitely would have failed quite hard versus Mass Phoenix so far.
Yeah.
Out of uGpV.
Exactly.
Out of what? I will check. XSplit man. His name up here is actually uGpV.
Yeah, but that's because whoever's doing the titles is wrong. But these Phoenixes here still being a little bit threatening, and we actually see Phoenix production still coming out of Nortak. He's still going for pumping those out. Meanwhile, he's got the Twilight Council going for that Zealot leg speed upgrade, getting the the Templar of Archives as well. So it looks like he's going to go into either some Archons or some Storms. Considering that he doesn't have any Forges at work just yet, I assume it's going to be some High Templar here, because Archons, you're typically going to want those extra attack damage. And meanwhile, it looks like uGp's V did decide and tell our great man Ben here, as a bunch of Marines get picked up by the Phoenixes, that he wanted to be called uGpV. So we have been corrected. Apparently, we have wronged Kibbelz.
I'm sorry. uGpV. So those Phoenix caught a nice ball of Marines there. Too few Marines there sitting by Rainbow. He was not expecting such a large quantity of Phoenix. And Storm being researched right now by Rainbow or by uGpV. So.
Man, he's got 11 Phoenixes out. He only just stopped Phoenix production. Like, is he playing against Mutas and I don't know it?
You know, there's a lot of value in being able to so quickly kill the medevacs and deny drops. Maybe one of his weaknesses is denying drops, and he uses Phoenix in order to compensate for that. Definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it for sure.
But all things barred aside from it, you know, as you said, man, they're just a very useful unit. If Terran decides to move out, he could roll into this natural expand and just pick up every SCV and maybe lose a Phoenix.
Maybe. If he actually controls well, he can actually pull out those Phoenix quite quickly. And here he comes into the main to do just that, picking up a ton of SCVs here. One Phoenix will fall. A second one here starting to get a little bit low. It'll go down into the orange health before falling back, and another one in the red as well. But a lot of SCVs have been picked off in that little engagement. Not as many as I would have expected. I felt like he could have picked up a lot more in that short interval of time. But, maybe just having a hard time there clicking. But here comes the attack from V from Team uGpV, and he's going to be attacking here, taking out the factory first. But there's a lot of Marines and Marauders here. They've got the stim upgrade, and these Zelts have to be careful because they do not have any upgrades at all. They've just got the charge upgrade, but it's still going to be 0-0 Protoss units versus 1-1 Terran units, and that is never a good way to engage for the Protoss. You almost always want to have that lead there in the upgrades. Now, meanwhile, we do have these High Templars coming forward. Storm upgrade is complete. Phoenix is here going to sneak in. They might force the Marines and Marauders to actually go into the main to defend, and if they can actually do that, then it's going to be open for uGpV to actually attack into the natural.
EMP tries to go down on the Phoenix, but it misses. They are very fast units. One Phoenix does go down at the expense of one SCV.
I feel like the animation of the Phoenix dying is like a TIE fighter. It's like...
It's a very good comparison, actually. Third now being established by Rainbow Marines and Marauders moving down to that position in order to hold it. And this is what we were talking about in the very beginning, where your army can be called out of position, but as it stands, uGpV is just going to move in with his entire army. A lot of Phoenix being called out of position, but EMPs were wasted on them. Now a Storm goes down on the army. Oh my god! uGpV's army is absolutely melting here to the Marine Marauder out of Rainbow.
Dude, upgrades are so good in this matchup, and there are none. They're only just about to finish here, +1/+1. What was uGpV thinking? Look, right now, finishing +1/+1. Just finished. If he waited literally 20 seconds, he might not be in this horrible position that he is right now, where he is on 3 bases. He's kind of doing what StarTale Rainbow did to Complexity's RSVP, where he's staying alive and he's staying ahead economically, but he doesn't really have great tech. He's behind on upgrades for now, and this is going to be tricky. He lost a lot of Phoenixes in that engagement as well. He's now down to just 6 of them. Previously, he had 11. Did he just produce another one? Okay, never mind. That was a probe. I saw something moving on the minimap from the main base, moving pretty fast, and I was like, oh my god, more Phoenix? Are you kidding me?
So I actually got to commend uGpV here. When you fall behind so drastically as he just did, you got to do something to catch up, and uGpV drops this Ninja Expand.
Ninja! But, oh my god, he just warped in a ton of Zealots over here. 7 of them, in fact, using all of his warpins. And meanwhile, the Marine Marauder army of StarTale Rainbow is actually moving up towards the front. There are no sentries here at all for uGpV, and he cannot use any force fields. Right now, StarTale Rainbow has a lot of ghosts here as well. He's got 10 ghosts in his army, man. These High Templars are going to be having a hard time, but that's a huge storm. Actually kills off like 5 or 6 Marines. Meanwhile, the Zealots are in the mineral line. Marines and Marauders are going to go over there to try to help clean it up. And actually, the army of StarTale Rainbow is falling back. He's missing his opportunity to do some damage, and uGpV here is actually turning the tables on his Terran opponent. He's slowly getting ahead here, man. He's still killing SCVs in this mineral line.
Yeah, he's got the SCV count of Rainbow. He's killed another 9 SCVs over here. Rainbow now sitting on 48 workers to the 69 of uGpV. uGpV also having this secret expansion down in the bottom right, and he's definitely clawing his way back into this game right now. Going Zealot Archon with some Storms mixed in to deal with this composition out of Ewan, which is the ever-present Marine Marauder Medevac. Both supplies now equalized at approximately 175.
Man, I thought that uGpV there was in quite a lot of trouble, because StarTale Rainbow could have charged up that ramp. Again, there was no force fields. There's literally not a single sentry on the field right now for our Protoss player. Ooh, Phoenix is getting some nice hits there on some medevacs, going to end up killing one of them. An EMP goes down there, but actually doesn't hit any of the Phoenixes. They're just way too quick, and now actually these Phoenixes here are going to get a little bit sniped there, but here come the Ghosts. They're all cloaked. They're going to be able to get some huge EMPs down on these Archons, and there they go. Huge EMPs goes down. One Archon still has some shields left. Another one over here to the left. Storm's going down, though, doing a lot of damage to this mostly Marine composition army, but will it be enough? A lot of Zealots here getting warped in, but actually blocking the Immortals. They're stuck up there at the front of the engagement. There's no more Storms left here for our Protoss player. He's definitely going to lose his natural Nexus. Again, though, with that hidden base in the bottom right, it might not be enough, and if StarTale Rainbow decides to fall back, but he doesn't. He decides to keep pushing, and I think that that'll be it for game number 1 here, Kibbelz.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap things up. Rainbow absolutely devastated uGpV's army there. And a lot of it, I mean, uGpV didn't use any storms during that engagement, I believe. I don't remember seeing any. And
Well, it was all